man is incredible. I mean, he's probably the most principle-centered man I've ever been around, and I just like what he stands for. It's not about softball, you know, it's about good kids, good program, teaching the right things. Softball's just the little part of it.
Henry Christowski is best known for the success of the Simpson softball team in the late 1990s, leading the Storm to 2 national championships in 1997 and 99. During that second title, the Storm recorded one of the best seasons in NCAA Division III softball history, posting a 47-4-1 record.
The national championship teams are always a great story because he took a mix of big school kids, small school kids, kids that hardly played in high school, and made it be magical.
One of the radio announcers made the comment that every time the Storm stepped on the field, the Storms in the area left. And it did seem like that because we played in the sunshine and in good conditions where the rest of the tournament a lot of times was in rather poor. And that kind of has always stuck with me because he said, and I remember the quote, he said, well, when the Storm steps on the field, the other Storms leave the area.
Coach Christowski started at Little Norwalk High School and posted a record of 440 and 179. 3 of his pitchers, including his daughter, would be inducted in the Iowa High School Hall of Fame. Christowski eventually wound up at Dowling Catholic High. In 8 seasons, his Maroons went 272 and 70 and won a state title in 1992.
I was in Indianola and he was in Norwalk at the time, and Norwalk was a powerhouse. And I just kind of followed his career, and no matter where he went, he always took a program that was average at best and always made it good, and it always really intrigued me. I love the game of softball, and it was just a natural fit. He ended up hiring me at Norwalk and then ended up hiring me here at Simpson. So I've just kind of followed him around, but that's, you know, no matter where he goes, he wins, and I just want to be a part of that.
I guess I just, I feel very humble. I feel very appreciative. I've actually been in the right place at a lot of the right times. I always say to my girls something about the fact that opportunity, when it knocks, you know, you don't always, you're not always there to open the door, but you need to stay close by just in case.
Pretty much he was a completely different coaching style than my coach that I had at home, because my coach at home was pretty intense, and when he asked if I was interested in coming here, I said absolutely.
And there are some coaches that just explain things so differently, and like they'll tell you something and you just don't understand it. And with Coach C, he can tell you something and he'll give you he's very structured and he does a great job explaining things, and I really, really like that. And every time he told him something, I'd get it and he'd make sure I got it. So
he has a reputation of making something from nothing. You know, he can make an athlete that I really would think would be average, and he can make them an All-American. And he just, he's very mild-mannered by nature. He talks to the kids, he teaches the game.
I don't think they're going to be very happy or very productive in a job where their boss is continually screaming and yelling at them or throwing clipboards at them or anything else of that nature. I would like it to be just like the real world, and I'd like them to have the same success out there as they have in the softball program. And I think you have to be emotionally in control, and you have to be happy with what you're doing, and you have to feel some sort of pride in what you're doing. And
exactly what I was expecting is what I got. We not only have Coach C as an awesome head coach, we also have an awesome assistant coaching staff. He delegates it out, and if you have a question, come to him and he'll do whatever he can to help you. He'll even come in extra. So
he's not only just a coach, he can be your friend too, and he really helped me out with school and stuff, got me some tutors just to make sure I was getting the grades that I wanted to get. So he is not only a coach, he's like a good friend, and like you look up to him.
I couldn't understand how he could get it across without yelling. He was very mild-mannered. At times you wouldn't think he'd be coaching, but in the dugout the kids would go to him and he would just put his hand over, you know, his mouth, and he'd whisper something magic, and then they would perform.
Coach Christowski is an honored member of the Iowa Girls Coaches Association Hall of Fame. In 26 years, his teams went 879 and 419 with a winning percentage of .677. Christowski came to Simpson College in 1996, leading the Storm to a third-place finish in the program's first-ever national tournament appearance. In year 2, he led Simpson through the losers bracket of the NCAA West Region Tournament and back to nationals. The Storm advanced to the national championship game, where in the bottom of the ninth, an Amber Riddenauer two-run walk-off home run gave Simpson its first ever national championship in any of its 18 varsity sports.
To me, that was never the objective. Winning the title was important, but it was just kind of like winning any other game. It was a success story, and the success that those girls had on the field maybe was a little more significant because they received a little more notoriety as a result of that win. And I did too, so I guess that was really nice, but I've never been one that thought that was the objective. The objective is to go home satisfied that I've taught a young lady something about the game, about life, about all of those things which may help her later on.
We've been together so long that I can say, Coach, I just don't think this is going to work, or Coach, I think you're really wrong on this one. And he'll listen and he'll listen, and then finally he'll say, you know, Jill, this is what will end up happening. And I wait, and he's never been wrong.
He's a very funny guy though. Like, he may not seem like it, but he cracks jokes. And I know when I go to his office, I'll knock on the door and he'll be, come in, and you open the door. And then he's like, oh, it's you. And he'll just turn around. And you know he's joking, he'll turn around with a big smile on his face.
I think the funniest time I've ever had with Coach is because Coach is not a huge talker. He doesn't constantly talk. And so one day when we were standing on the bus and he was talking to us, we were talking about leaving and all that, and all of a sudden he just goes, we're off like a dirty shirt. And we all just wide open eyes, dropped our mouth. We're like, did he just say that? And so we're that was so not like him. So
We were in Florida. It had to have been a couple years ago, and we got lost. We're trying to get to our hotel, and I think we got there during the day, so we're looking to go to practice and stuff, so we got to get back from the airport. And we get lost. We're like an hour out of the way, and Coach doesn't ever cuss or anything or say any bad words, and he said hell. So that was kind of a big deal for me and the other girls in the van. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said hell. So that's about all I got for stories.
Well, it makes him so uncomfortable to get something this neat, but you know, out of anybody I've ever been around the game, and I've been around the game probably 30 years, this man deserves it more than anybody, because I respect him, because he will take, you know, a kid 8 years old and make them feel like softball's the most important thing, you know, and teach the game, whether someone's 8 years old or whether they're a college. He always has time to teach the game.
Well, honestly, it is kind of unique because I got the phone call, and it was from someone that I'd never talked to on the phone before. I listened to what they had to say, and I thought, this is probably a practical joke. And so I kind of let it go on and go on and go on, and then I said, well, tell me a little more about it. Well, then when they told me that who else was going in, and I thought, you know, putting George Wares and I on the stage at the same time, the distance away and the fact we've been arch rivals for a long time and so forth, whoever thought this practical joke up really thought it through thoroughly. Just to be honest, my first thought was, oh, my wife will die because she'll get to go to Las Vegas. And I said, you know, it'll be the height of her thing, height of her whole year. The only thing that would be better is the Cubs would win. And I don't know, I think my wife is having a very good year because she's going to get a chance to go to Las Vegas, and the Cubs won the Central Division.
Christowski has led the Storm to 6 NCAA Division III national tournaments. Entering his 13th season at Simpson, Christowski has 396 wins and a winning percentage of .796. That winning percentage is the second best among active Division III coaches, third in the history of Division III coaching. He is the only coach in any division of NCAA softball history to win at least 200 games in his first 5 years as a head coach. Christowski reached the 300-win plateau faster than any other Division III coach in history, accomplishing the feat in just 362 games. His college and prep coaching record stands at 1,247, 509, and 2, a winning percentage of .710.
Maybe I was just fortunate enough to be there sometime when the opportunity occurred, and I guess I thank God for giving me the opportunity to enjoy this. Why would somebody my age still be out here doing this? And it's because I enjoy it. I enjoy getting up and thinking that tomorrow we're going to have practice, or today we're going to have practice, or we're going to have a game. And it gives me one more reason to get up in the morning and go. And you know, I guess I could do without hitting balls and so forth, but I don't think so. Right now, it's just such a big part of my life that I don't think I could give it up. And if people have just given me a lot of great opportunities to continue to do what I really love to do.